So I'm going to start with what I call the weather card. All right, let's see what comes up. Ooh, the Lovers, right off the bat. An equal and loving relationship. Ooh, tied with the Ace of Cups, which is a renewal of love and passion. Queen of Wands, Four of Cups, Three of Discs, Ace, Swords. Woo, look at this. Okay, again, nothing you don't already know, and what I do know of what you're going through, it's really speaking to you. So I'm going to start with what I call the weather card, which is a card that is about your environment. It's not anything that you have control over. It's nothing that you're responsible for particularly. It's like the cosmic setting of your life at this time. And let me also remind you that all the cards are transitory. This will operate for as long as it's appropriate, and then gradually, naturally just move along into the next version of what comes along for you. So the card in the weather position you're going to know and recognize very well. It's from the suit of discs, which has to do with your physical reality, your health, your possessions, your housing, your work, your relationships, your finances. It's a 7. It's called failure, but I will describe it in a manner besides that. It's a description of when things are effortful, not effortful in the manner that they can't be done, but effortful in the manner, in the connotation that there's just a lot of work to do, and you get tired, you get weary, sometimes you lose heart that work will ever be done. I sometimes express this card as walking through a blackberry patch. It's not going to kill you, but you're going to feel the pain for the time being. So having this in this position, it's nothing to be taken as, I would offer to you that being in this position can offer you some consolation that it is like the weather. It will pass, and tough it out. Not tough it out. There are ways you can minimize the effort and the difficulty, and even perhaps some of the painfulness of that card. And in fact, the reading does speak to that. The reading here is speaking to an equal and healthy relationship, the Lovers. This is at the center of your reading. So this is a place that I would say to you is strong and central to who you are and what's going on at this time. It's coupled with the Ace of Cups, a beautiful cup. Aces are always about beginnings, always about success, and oftentimes about the time frame of a year. So they aren't immediate necessarily, but they're the harbingers of something that is initiating and will come to more fruition across time. So in your healthy and loving relationship, and this is with yourself and others, and more than likely your significant other, there is something occurring that bodes very beautiful in the emotional relationship. A deepening, perhaps a discovering. Taking something that you already know and taking it to a new level, such that it seems like you are absolutely falling in love again. So I love that card, and this pair put together. The Queen of Wands is falling in the position that expresses what things are based on at this time, or what the foundation is. And the Queen of Wands is energy. She's from the suit of fire, the suit of wands. Inspiration, spirituality, those things that energize you, fuel you, turn you on. So whatever those things are for you, what gives you that energy? And the Queen is the ruling woman of the suit. So it's saying to me that you have an authority already in your life regarding what inspires you, what turns you on, what keeps your energy flowing and on fire. So whatever those things are, again, I'm bouncing this back to that darker card. Those are the things that are going to light you up and move you through the difficult times, or the difficult circumstances. Behind you, or meaning what's backing you up, what's in the recent past, or it could be even farther in the past. It's a portion of your past that is useful to draw on at this time. It's another card from the suit of cups, the suit of emotions, dreams. Has fours are about stability, about the basics. So this is saying to me, you have experience in being basically healthy, stable emotionally, and knowing how and where to draw the boundaries and to keep that balance so that you continue to have an ongoing emotional stability. So if, again, it's good at all times, but it's especially good at this time, is to recognize what does keep you emotionally balanced, and be sure you keep an eye on if one aspect or another of those things that soothe you, comfort you, inspire you, rest you, seem to go out of alignment, then you keep your eye on it and bring it back into alignment. At the top of the reading, and the way the cards are laid out at this time, is the Three of Discs. Now, discs are again about your physical reality. Threes are about things coming together, synthesizing. The name of this card is work, or works. And I describe this card as building a temple to house your soul, which very simply means putting your life in order, your physical life, the things that your life on earth is made of, arranging them for yourself that make your heart and soul sing. Make it comfortable, make it a thing you want to come home to, whether it's at home on the ground or home in a work environment, wherever that physical reality is for you, that you make it your own personal sacred space. Being works, it's expressing that also requires attention, and it's the emblem or the symbol of Mars, the warrior, male, masculine energy, the active, in the sign of Capricorn, which is the mountain climber, the mountain goat, the persevering, the nimble-footed. So it's saying you've got the tools, you've got the command, and you can accomplish whatever you want by remaining focused and nimble and persevering, persistent. So that pulls us around to a card that's bridging things kind of where we are at the moment to where things may be headed. And it's the ace, another ace, an ace of fire, the suit of wands. Aces are beginnings, initiations. So it's great you have a couple of initiations here. This has to do with creativity, with intuition, with spirituality. So I think it's saying, maybe also similar to this this building the temple to house your soul, it may be a calling that your soul is taking you to a new level. So remain aware of that and alive to it, and welcome it and invite it. Participate with that motion of your spirit. Learn and explore, experiment, avail yourself of this playful edge of something new occurring for yourself. I think it's not unusual that once we attain a certain kind of mastery in our life or comfortability, that there's a temptation to stay in that comfort zone. So, but life doesn't stay there. Life is always moving, always taking us to new places. So this is saying you are at the edge of a new place, and it has to do with something that excites you, energizes you, challenges you. So be aware, be ready for that. The Turning Point card is one of my favorite cards in the deck, from the Suit of Swords, which has to do with the mind, the mental realm. Swords are oftentimes those things, using our heads, our thoughts, our ideas and beliefs, our communications, oftentimes are where we as people get in the most trouble and the most difficulty, painful, so forth. But the two in this suit is called peace, and it has to do with stilling the mind, stopping your thoughts. It's a card that would be associated very easily with the concept of meditation. Taking a little time out from thinking. We're always so often in thought process in our lives, and there's a real wisdom and a real gold mine, really, from stopping the thoughts and letting those quieter communications, those things that really are not even words or thoughts, but are always influencing us. It's like the language of the soul and the spirit, which isn't particularly words. It's certainly not English. So now later, once we've spent our time in this realm of the nonverbal, oftentimes we get that information in our ears with words, or we see it or hear it in our environment. But what really primes us to recognize those verbal cues is that lowering of the mental chatter. So this card is falling in the reading in the position which I call the turning point. So in order to turn things or pivot things, this would be a way to put your attention, give yourself time and space to slow your thoughts, actually even stop your thoughts in whatever different ways that actually works for you. Now, related to that card in a way is this card. This is the card from a special suit called the Major Arcana, and it is the 14 called Art in this card. It's a, what do you call that? What's the word? It's a figure which is two-sided, so it's expressing androgynous, the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark. This is the fiery creature of the air. This is the cool, like airy or watery creature of the earth. So everyone is focused here in this card in this beautiful golden kettle or chalice. So it's expressing, it's very much related to the symbology of alchemy, is going into a process that you are looking at and working towards. The cliche is turning lead into gold, which is really just a metaphor for taking the ingredients that you already have at your disposal and lifting them up into something higher. And the attention that it takes, and the discipline that's required, and also the participation with the element of spirit or the higher powers. So this card has to do with, for yourself at this time, how is the most productive way for you to spend your time and attention. And all of these cards, to me, are expressing that you're already in that zone. And I would just offer to you to encourage you to get robust in this alchemy of where it is you're at. Don't get impatient. Don't even ask for results. Just stay in the process. Trust that process. Indulge it. Maximize it. Exaggerate it. It's something is definitely cooking, and you are definitely on your way to something exciting. Your aces describe that. This 3 describes it, of building that temple to house your soul. And the last card in your reading very much tunes into this general story that's being told. It's also from the suit of the majors. It's the Wheel of Fortune. And it actually factually vibrates or resonates with these aces. The 10, if you add the 1 and the 0, it reduces to 1. So it's the same, it's a similar vibration as the aces, but one step higher. The Wheel of Fortune is expresses those things, willing to take a risk, willing to be on your toes for whatever life brings you. And life is always bringing us things, ups and downs. So it's saying, and I think what all these pieces put together are talking about, is an opportunity is coming for you. Exciting, and probably also again stretching yourself with this ace of fire and this Ace of Cups. The ace, which is the cups and the wands, are expressing to you, you are embarking on something. And always those embarking points are the unknown, not knowing. And and with your alchemy card, I would say it's not a time for knowing. It's not a time for asking for guarantees. It's a time for launching and trusting that journey. I'm going to rearrange them and see what else they might be expressing to us. So hang on. Here's an interesting pairing. Actually, wow, check this out. First of all, the 2 aces fall together. Boy, what can I say about that? It's just highly charged, these beginnings that you're you have the, let's see, what the emotional beginning and the energetic, or this is a suit of the spirit, so I'll just say spiritual beginning. And I'm wondering if your relationship, this love of your life, may be calling for a spiritual newness, some spiritual activity or exploration or connection, something you do in common, or alternatively this initiation of your own spiritual energetic self, your new renewing and exploration will inform that love life, that your dreams, your emotional content. And it probably morphs back and forth, you know. Interdependent, I think, as Michael Ellick put it one time. So here are the lovers now tied with the two swords. The sword, the card called peace. And it's a beautiful pairing. It's saying part of the peace and the health of this equal and loving relationship is about less thinking. Just being together. You know, our lives with one another, and so often in our significant relationships, it's so much about the details, the talking, the chores, the do list, schedules. And again, I think this would bode to these aces over here, that perhaps for you now, actually for any relationship, but it's definitely in your cards at this time, that it's time to take time just to be. Be in quietness, be in those ways of communicating and connecting that are not verbal. That will absolutely renew you and refresh you and deepen you. And again, in our relationships, there's a temptation to take one another for granted and to take the relationship for granted, that, oh, I got it down now, I know what it's like, it works. But again, the nature of life is to keep evolving, to keep developing. All of life shows us that. So let that be true about this living organism of the two of you, of that love life. Let it speak to you. It's time for your for listening to the quiet parts and learning something new from that. So I offer that to you. Here's the Queen, now tied with this weather card of the briar patch, the effort, the difficult, the annoying. This combination and pairing for me says you can actually work some magic on this situation. I would offer to you, it gives the license to get creative, get authoritative, maybe do some ritual around this annoying, difficult, frustrating situation, and then you can clear the skies, walk on water, move mountains. So I love this pairing. This pairing is telling me you actually do have some charge over these things which we call circumstances. So draw on them, make the most of it. Don't just sit idly by and kind of wait for this time to pass. Put some action on it, put some energy on it, do some magic with it. Don't be shy. Take command. Use your imagination, which everything actually does come from imagination. So I would tell you that this is a pairing that is inviting you to say, wait just a minute, I'm just not going to hang out and take this. I am going to create my own story here, make it my own, and see how that, I do believe that will actually unlock some of this tangle and thorniness that this card expresses. Here's your Four of Cups now tied with your Alchemy card. What that brings me to say is draw on those times in your history that have been rewarding emotionally, that have been successful, and that's part of the mix. That's part of this alchemy, this brewing, this cooking something up. So, and maybe you're cooking something up that has to do with emotional health and how you may be able to give that back into the world. So there's a clue for you. Just something to consider And who knows what's in this kettle. This pairing at the very end of this string of cards now is that building a temple to house your soul, now tied with the Wheel of Fortune. So it's incredibly fortunate to put the time and energy in, and the money actually, into building this temple, because it will provide or support this new opportunity. What else? This is one of the most affirming set of cards that I think we could even have put down if we had searched the deck for a very healthy, strong, powerful, productive, and promising set of cards. So if you haven't given yourself that message, I am inviting you, give it to yourself. Powerful, affirmative, and promising. That is where these cards are saying you are, and what is surrounding you, and what you're capable of. So, and it's certainly what our world needs more of. So I applaud you, and I exhort you to receive those things and ripple those things out more and more. Okay. One of the most exciting parts of the reading, which is what is at the very bottom of the deck. And your card here is the Magician. It's another one, and it's from the suit of the Majors. That special suit that has to do with all the levels of your life: mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. The Magician is about, it's the beautiful golden image here, figure, and it has to do with the Midas touch. Touching, everything you touch turns to something beautiful. It has to do with skillfulness. Skillfulness in all those four levels: mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and offering those out to others, to yourself and others. So to me, having this card at the bottom of the deck combined with all these other cards, the way we've been looking at them and what has been arriving for me, it just expresses to me that you are at a very prime moment in your life and bound for enjoying your skills and your gifts and expressing them in new ways to great benefit to yourself and others. Hallelujah, and I can't wait to see it. Keep it up.